it's Diane at Minerva. I hope you're all having a wonderful week. And today I'd like to share a make with you, and it's this beautiful Sewalong designer dress. And as you can see, it's got gorgeous details on the sleeves and the front there, and a lovely shape to it. And what we're going to be using today is this Minerva exclusive range viscose chalet in wildflower fusion. Now, purple and lilac are particular favourites of mine, and as you can see, we've got some gorgeous shades going on in this fabric. I love all the little details. So we've got flowers, butterflies, pink, lilac, deep purple, a lovely sort of magenta colour there. It's so vibrant, I just love it. So all my favourite colours in this fabric, and I think this is going to make a gorgeous dress. Now, should you wish to sew along with me today, everything will be linked in the description below. So all you have to do is click on those links and you'll have everything you need. So you need to watch for the Gertrude Dress by Sewalong, the viscose chalet in wildflower fusion, a matching thread, and some interfacing. Now, before we begin, you want to wash and prepare your fabric as you would normally. You should always do this before we start a new make, and that saves on any shrinkage later on. It's usually only a small amount, but it's best to do this at the beginning to get that out of the way. When you've done that, you're going to take a tape measure and locate the sizing on your pattern. Now, it's always best to do this every time you start something new, because sizing can vary across patterns, and also don't just go on your standard dress size. So check your measurements first of all, check that they correspond with the pattern, and then when you've done that, you know exactly what size to aim for. Now while you're here, why not take a look at the Minerva Craft Club? With the Minerva Craft Club, you get 10% off all your orders for a whole year, so that will include anything that you buy with us today. And we'd also love it if you create a free account. Now, with a free account, you can connect with like-minded sewers from all over the world, share projects, ideas and inspiration. It's a really wonderful place to join in with our sewing community and get new ideas, make new friends and have some fun along the way. It's all completely free, so why not go ahead and do that now? Now, when you're all prepared, we're going to go and cut our pattern pieces together. So let's go and do that now. Here are our pattern pieces. So this is your back, and you're going to cut one pair like this. So here we have this cutout section here. So this is your inverted pleat. So make a note of the markings, and these little markings here, which you can snip into or mark with your chalk or your tailor's pencil here as well. Here we're marking for the pockets. We lengthen or shorten at this point, and there is an optional split here. This is your front. Again, you're going to cut two, so you're going to cut a pair of these. Again, you have the cutout with the inverted pleat. Note your markings, your pocket position, and again lengthen or shorten at this point. So here we have the top sleeve, and this is your straight grain. Cut one pair, make a note of your markings. This is the under sleeve, you're going to cut two again, so cut another pair of this one, note your markings. And this is the pocket, so you're going to cut two pairs of this one, so you'll need 4 pocket pieces. Here we have your front neck facing, so you're going to cut one in fabric and one in interfacing. Note your markings. Here we have the shoulder pieces. So here we're going to cut 2 of the front. Note the markings. Make a note of where the neck and the shoulder is, just so that you don't get it the wrong way around also. This is the straight grain this way. Now this is the back shoulder and the straight grain is going this way, look. And here is your shoulder. Make a note of these points and your markings. And here we have the back neck facing. You're going to cut a pair. So 2 in the main fabric and 2 in interfacing, and note your markings. So now we're ready to begin making our dress. First of all, you want to wind half of your thread onto your spool. Check your machine needle is sharp. I'm using a universal needle size 70 today. You may wish to try this on a piece of scrap fabric and see what works best for you, but I find a number 70 is just right on this viscose challis. When you've done that, we're going to create our inverted pleat. So that's our first job, so let's do that now. So bring your right sides together. Now this is my back piece. I'm starting with my back pieces. So as you can see, I've got my point here for my inverted pleat, and I've brought the edges of the seam together here and I've pinned them along there. So I'm going to stitch along here now to bring those two edges together, and we're going to do this with a 1 centimetre seam. We have also got notches here to help us match it up along the way. Now repeat on the other side before we move on to the next step. Now repeat that step with the inverted pleat on the front pieces also. Now at this point, when you have all your inverted pleats in place, what I've chosen to do is overlock down this seam that we've just created here, and also around the edges of my pleat point, just so that it's nice and flat and it will be neat on the inside, because it'll be hard to do it after we've stitched it down. And then you open up your pleat like this so that the point is facing towards your seam, and we're going to press that now. I've put a little pin here to keep it in position, and I'll flip it over so you can see. And then on the right side you've got your nice pleat here, look. Now you're going to stitch on the inside of your pleats to keep them in position. Now you don't want these stitches showing on the outside, so you're just doing it on either side of the pleat on the inside like this. Now there is markings on your pattern, but you can just catch it on either side of the fold here. Now we're going to join our centre front seams. Now I've overlocked mine first of all. If you are going to do this, make sure you only take off the tiniest amount, because we've only got 1 centimetre seams. Or sometimes I add a little on when I'm cutting out. So if you know you're always going to do this, it might be best to add a little before you cut out your pattern pieces. But you can always do it after. So I've done it now. Now you're going to pin this together, and also you remark where your markings were, because they may have got trimmed off in your overlocking. So mark them again with chalk or a pin before pinning it and lining everything up. So we're going to pin all the way down the front, then we're going to stitch that together with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. Now here we have our front shoulder yokes, and we're going to stitch them in place here and here. Once we've done that, we're going to edge finish the seam, and we're going to press that seam upwards. Now you're going to repeat with your back pieces. So here is your back, and here are your shoulder yokes. So it's best if you place them out flat like this before you begin. If you keep hold of your pattern piece, like this, so you can see we've got the neck here and the neck here. There's the shoulder. Flip that over, that's that side. So if you position it first of all, this will stop you getting confused. Flip it over. and pin it in place. Now we're going to sew our fronts to our backs at the shoulder here. So we have our yokes on. Pin your shoulders in position. It's got like a gentle curve on it on this pattern. On the shoulder, that's one side. Now we're going to stitch our centre back seam up to the marking here. Now, because I've overlocked it, I've put a pin there. I'm going to back tack here and stitch down to the bottom of the dress. Now, if you're applying an invisible zipper, you need to leave a good 4 or 5 centimetres below it to give yourself some room, or you can apply your invisible zipper before you do this seam. It's up to you. I'm using a regular zipper today, so I'm stitching my seam in place first of all. The pattern does stay an invisible zipper, so I will link one of those in with the item products. Change to your zipper foot and apply your zipper. Now you're going to apply your interfacing to your neck facing pieces. So these are the back pieces and this is the front. If you lay them out again like this so that you can see clearly, we're going to join this shoulder section here now. So flip it over and we're joining just here. Again, a 1 centimetre seam. Now we're pinning our neck facing to the neck of our dress. So we start at the side, but we have all these points to line up. So at the centre, I've done a little notch like this. So the centre of my facing, I've folded it in half and made a little notch, and I've lined that up with that front open seam here. And then we have a notch here that lines up with that first seam here of the yoke. And then the shoulder points line up here. So if you pin that in place. And then just pin it the rest of the way. Make sure you've got those key points in position first of all. So look, here's the notch. And here's the seam, so we need to line those up before we pin anything else. Stitch your neck facing in place. Now you're going to understitch around that neckline, so press your seam with your fingers towards the facing and you're stitching close to that seam on the outside with a straight stitch a couple of millimetres away from the edge. This all the way around, stopping a few millimetres away from the zip when you arrive at it at the other side. Locate your notches on your side seams and you're going to place your pocket bag right sides facing like this on both sides. Now we're going to stitch from here to here, so leave a centimetre top and bottom. You're going to stitch straight down a 1 centimetre seam. You're going to do this on each pocket bag, and we are going to join the pocket bags together when we join our side seam. Back tack to begin. And sew straight down this side. You want a little bit of pocket bag remaining at the bottom, about a centimetre. Back tack there and do the same. Both pockets on the front, both pockets on the back. Understitch your pocket bags, the front ones only, in the same way that you did your neckline, a few millimetres from the edge of this seam, pushing your seam onto your pocket bag. Bring your side seams together and starting at the underarm, we're going to sew our side seam. Match your notches. When you arrive at your pocket bags, you're going to push them to the side. Back tack just here. Now we can sew around our pocket bags at this point. And then we're going to continue down this side seam, but we need to back tack again before we start. So here is our pocket bags. Here is our stitching, our understitching, just in front of that we want to back tack again. Carry on down this side seam. Now we're creating our tucks on our undersleeve. So you have your grid markings here on your pattern, and I find it's best if you place your pattern on and you pin it as you go. So I've folded down the top one here and put a pin in, then I've folded the next one and put a pin in. So the final one, you put your pattern back on top and line it up. Here is the next marking, here and here. Then we need another pin. Then you're going to stitch these in place and then repeat on the other sleeve. Make the dart at the top of your sleeve by bringing both of your markings here together, and we're working towards a gradual point here, going towards a gradual V. Don't come off too suddenly because you'll get a bubble if you do so. Let your threads run free and knot them at the end. Push your knot down towards the V. So the top sleeve to the undersleeve, make sure you match the notches. Now we're going to pin our sleeves into our armhole. So have your garment the wrong way around. You see we have a notch here. And if you put your sleeves the right way around, we have the underarm here. I'm going to hem this after. You can do it before if you wish. And with the sleeve the right way around, push that inside. Open it up a bit more. And you're going to line up this notch here. Pin that in place. So continue pinning all the way around. Match your underarm marking, which is on your pattern. I'll show you here. So match to side seam. So this marking here goes to the side seam. And match your dart at the shoulder here. Continue pinning all the way around and then stitch in position. Now at various points around your neck you can stitch in the ditch at these points. So the front centre seam, these points here where the yoke meets the facing, and also on the shoulders, and that will also help keep your facing down flat. Decide where you'd like to put your Minerva label. Now I've linked in some Minerva labels in the description below, and these are a lovely addition to your handmade items. I'm going to add mine in the side today. You may wish to add it in the back near the zip, but I think in the side for this one will be ideal. So decide where you're going to place that now. And it's a good idea at this point to try on your dress and determine your hem length. Now I'm only 5'4", so I've had to take a good 5 centimetres off mine, off the bottom. So I've chopped that off now, and I'm going to hem it, and I'm going to hem the sleeves. I'm going to do a double fold hem on both. So when you've determined your hem length, hem your sleeves and your hem. I'm using a double fold hem today. It is quite a loose fitting dress, but I think I probably could have gone for a size smaller in this one. And I like the pleated detail underneath on the sleeve. It's got a nice shape with these inverted darts also. Well, I hope you've enjoyed sewing along with me today. Have you sewn this pattern before? Please let us know in the comments below, along with any photographs. We always love to see what you've been making. Also, you can ask any questions and we'll do our best to help you in any way we can. So I think this is a really nice pattern with beautiful details with the underarm pleats and the inverted pleats front and back. So if you're wanting to try something new, this may be the pattern for you. Maybe try it in a plain or maybe a chambray if you're not wanting to go for a print like I've done today. Also, if you're interested in what I'm wearing today, this is one of our Minerva sweater prints, a Minerva exclusive. So it's a soft sweater knit and it's called Brushwork Print. And the pattern number is a simplicity pattern and it's 8982. I will link those products below also in case you're interested in making this one. Well, that's all from me for today. But thank you so much for watching and I hope to be back with another sew along really soon. Bye for now.